when we are out there in the dark. We'll dream about the sun. In the dark we'll seek the light, warms our hearts, everyone. If we hold on together, I know our dreams will never die. Dreams see us through to forever. As high as souls will fly, the clouds roll by for you and I. Hi everyone, Jennifer here, back with another edition of TV Talk. It's Sunday, and that means it's Dragon's Day. And this week's episode of Race to the Edge was Blindsided. When a storm moves across the edge and lightning strikes the dragon stables, Astrid becomes blind trying to save the dragons. With her unable to see, Hiccup tries to keep her safe while they go out to search for the frightened dragons. Meanwhile, the Triple Strike is still on the island, and the riders are having trouble training him. But will Astrid's new situation give her an edge in figuring out just what makes this dragon click? Okay, things I liked about this episode. I loved everything about this episode. This was the first time I saw this episode, and it's already in my favorites category. So that says a lot right there. I liked the fact that they actually gave one of the other riders a physical disability. I'm saying one of the other riders because Hiccup technically has a physical disability as well, with the missing half of his one leg. And albeit a temporary physical disability, as we know from the second movie that Astrid is not in fact blind. So I do like that they did that, and then they kind of made the others, particularly Hiccup, and Stormfly as well, kind of protective of her. Which is like, yeah, I can kind of see that Hiccup really likes her. That was kind of apparent from the first movie. Very early on in the first movie, actually, within the first few scenes of the first movie. And then Stormfly is also her dragon, so yeah, I mean, there would be that bond there where she would want to protect Astrid. I mean, we've seen that with the other dragons. Well, we've seen that with Toothless trying to protect Hiccup from things. We haven't really seen it much with the other dragons. It really seems as though Toothless and Hiccup have a really strong bond, and Astrid and Stormfly have an equally strong bond. But so we see them trying to protect her, but we also notice, the writers put this in here, and it's not really a spoiler, that she's able to sense things that the others really couldn't. She was able to hear things that they couldn't, because she would say throughout most of the episode, "Did you hear that?" And they'd be like, "I didn't hear anything." Which I liked how they put that in there, because it is true. Now, I've never really experienced the loss of a sense. I mean, I'm nearsighted, but that doesn't really count. But they say that people who lose their sense of hearing or their sense of sight will often develop their other senses to kind of pick up the slack. Their other senses will not necessarily develop through them, but develop on their own to pick up the slack of that missing sense. People who can't see will be able to hear better and smell better. They'll have a more sensitive sense of touch and whatnot. And so I liked how they did that here. Astrid didn't necessarily have a more heightened sense of smell or a more heightened sense of touch, but her hearing had gone up, and possibly her sense of smell went up too, because she was able to tell when Stormfly was close by as well. But they really didn't emphasize that. It was more the hearing they emphasized. So I really liked that. I also liked how they dealt with this, and I felt it was a really good, and I'm sorry if the camera's jerking around a little. I felt that was a really good lesson in what people with physical disabilities can do. And I don't want to give away too much because that would be a spoiler. Also, I loved the fact that the others kind of got mishmashed with dragons. They went out looking for their dragons, but they didn't find their dragons. They found the others' dragons. Fishlegs found Hookfang, the twins found Meatlug, and Snotlout found Barf and Belch, and they had to kind of work with those dragons, which is something they're not used to, which I thought was kind of funny. And this episode really more focused on more Hiccup and Astrid than the others, but I liked how they kind of put that in there as kind of like, oh yeah, this is kind of funny. We see them kind of struggling to work with the other dragons as well, because these are not dragons they are used to. Lastly, I mentioned like 5 seconds ago that this episode really focused on Hiccup and Astrid. And one of the things I really, really loved about this episode is that we really see an upgrade in their relationship. Now, whether that upgrade is that they actually go from a platonic friendship relationship to a romantic relationship, or their romantic relationship just kind of jumps up to the next level, isn't really clear. My opinion, it's the latter. Their romantic relationship kind of jumped up to the next level. Because I think really at the end of the first movie, they were kind of in that romantic relationship of being boyfriend and girlfriend. We know in the second movie that they are in a romantic relationship. It is very obvious with the way they act towards each other. We do see them kiss quite a few times in the second movie, and whatnot. Now, whether they are just in the dating phase of that of their romantic relationship in the second movie, or they moved on to their engaged part, I don't know. It's really hard to say. We know Stoic early on in the movie, like during the first dragon race, calls Astrid his future daughter-in-law, but we don't know if that's just wishful thinking on his part, or if Astrid and Hiccup are actually engaged at that point. We do know that in the third movie that they are actually married at some point, whether it's before the movie starts or at the end of the movie, because we do see them with kids that are a mixture of the two of them. Sorry if that's a spoiler for the third movie. I will move on to that at some point, but let me get the Halloween stuff out of the way first. But as of now, I'm getting a little off track here, but kind of ties into what I was talking about. As of now, if they haven't been in a romantic relationship before this point, if their relationship was just strictly platonic, they were just best friends or really, really close friends, they are definitely in a romantic relationship now. Me personally, I think that they had always been, since the end of the first movie, in some kind of romantic relationship, but that's just me. I may be interpreting things a little differently. Their actions and whatnot towards each other, I may be interpreting that a little differently. I'd love to know what you guys think about that, though. If you think that they, up to this point, had been in some kind of a romantic relationship, or up to this point had been just a platonic relationship where they were just really, really good friends, and now they're in a romantic relationship. So, let me know in the comment section what you think on that. Okay, things I didn't like about this episode. I really didn't like, there really wasn't anything I didn't like about this episode. Sorry, I almost phrased that wrong. This was so good. As I stated when I started talking about the things I liked about this episode part, this is one of my top favorite episodes for, if not Race for the Edge, for the DreamWorks Dragons TV series. And I literally just watched this episode. So, I mean, that tells you on my feelings towards it. Okay, feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. Please like and share this video if you're watching on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you haven't already if you're watching on YouTube. And feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and DeviantArt. I do have my name for those 5 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respected artists. I own absolutely nothing. The link for the 5 sites I mentioned will be, or the links, excuse me, for the 5 sites I mentioned will be in the description section, if that makes it any easier for you guys to locate my pages on those sites. And if you're watching on Facebook, the link for my YouTube channel will be in the description section. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link for my Facebook page will be in the description section. Okay, quick reminder on my comment rules. Okay, feel free to check out my related videos. My other TV talk videos on DreamWorks Dragons. My other TV talk videos. And my other videos. Okay, before I sign off, a few things I'd like to touch on. First off, and this is for my YouTube subscribers, any of my videos that cannot be found on YouTube are on my Facebook page. Again, the link is in the description section. And vice versa for my Facebook friends. Any of my videos that cannot be found on my Facebook page are on my YouTube channel. Again, the link will be in the description section. Okay, lastly, we are getting very close to the point, well, not very close, but relatively soon, we'll be getting to the point where I will have to put Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on hold, as I only have so many episodes on DVD. And that means there will be an opening for Friday's TV Talk video come the end of March. So about 5 months away. And I would like to know what show you guys would like me to do next for TV Talk. Yeah, I know what you guys are thinking. Jennifer, what are you doing here? It is October, and you are saying that you will not be doing a new TV Talk video till the end of March. What gives? Usually you do not do these votes that early. Yes, normally I don't. But I made this decision to do this early because I thought if I started 5 months early, or roughly close to 5 months early, that would give you guys plenty of time to get your votes in for the next TV Talk video for Friday. I've noticed that when I start really too close to when I'm going to do this transfer over to the new show, I don't get a lot of responses. So I thought, oh, well, we'll try 5 months out, see how that works. Okay, so voting, your choices for the TV show are Knights of the Zodiac, My Little Pony, King of the Hill, and Wolf's Rain. Voting is very, very simple. All you have to do is write down which one of the 4 shows you would like me to do a review video on in the comment section. and or like or love a positive comment on one of the 4 shows, and whichever one gets the most votes is the one I will do a video on, or a series of videos on. Please note that if My Little Pony is the winner, it'll start with Generation 1, or My Little Pony and Friends, and then move into Friendship is Magic. Negative comments and dislikes do not count as votes. Voting will be until March 27th, but I will let you guys know if I need to push the date back at all. You may vote as many times as you wish, but in the event of a tie or absolutely no votes, I do have the final say. There is a little vote total right there on the screen, and that will be updated as the votes come in, so you guys can keep track of the votes as for each show, and I can also keep track of the votes for each show. I think it'll be a little easier that way. Okay, as always, thank you for watching, and have a very nice day.